What's up, everybody? Welcome to OTGW Talk. I am Dan. I'm here with Alan and Felicia, and today we're going to be talking about the extinctions of humans.
No!
In the workplace, not actual the extinction.
not in life.
So
not in life.
We don't have to work, we still get to live.
You can live, but you might not have a job.
So that means we just have a constant vacation.
Right, but if you have no money because you don't have a job, you will be constantly on vacation homeless.
Well, we make the robots work for us.
Oh,
right.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about the replacement of humans by robots in the workplace. And then after that, I'm going to ask you, we're going to play a little game where you guys tell me which occupations you actually want to see be replaced by robots and which occupations you think should be kept by humans. So let's start off with basically why we want to talk about this is recently in China, the first KFC introduced robots partnering with Baidu, the largest search engine. So imagine Google partnering with robots here, and it's like a robot interface where they scan your face and then they have all your maybe search history or your order history, because Baidu, basically Google has what we look for, and then they predict what meal you're gonna order, and then they will make suggestions. So for guys, they'll be like, maybe you want fried chicken and this, and for girls, maybe you want a chicken salad or whatever. So if we're under the assumption that eventually in our lifetimes, the next 5 years, 10 years, we're gonna see millions of jobs being replaced by robots, I think that's a given. What do you guys think about that? Do you guys think that's good? Like, let's talk about the good things that can come out of it. What do you think, Alan?
Well, I think when you have these big transitions, it's hard for people to adapt to it. But the good things are a lot of the tough jobs, the bad jobs that we don't want to do, the dangerous jobs, like working as a garbage collector or, working with chemicals or toxic things. If they can be replaced by robots, then it's good. And also, like, you have the initial investment of the robot, but your maintenance fees is a lot lower than a human being who, will need healthcare, will need a pension down the road, especially in the developing countries. So, like, if these businesses can cut their costs, that could also mean that they will cut their service prices and goods prices, and that could benefit society.
Yeah, they'll just need an oil change.
Exactly, and it's a lot cheaper.
I think robots would be really good for, at first, like, administrative jobs.
Yep.
Things that, like, no emotional intelligence. You don't want to put a robot to make decisions based on people's life. Right. And you don't want to put a robot in charge of religion. You're not going to put them at a church to present sermons. So I think those jobs will always still be reserved for humans.
I think it's more terrifying when you start having robots making decisions. The Baidu search engine KFC thing, right? What this terrifies me is that you're giving the robot access to a human's data. We're all watching Westworld right now. It doesn't take much for a robot who has the ability to do everything to learn, and the only thing that stops it from doing some harm is just the code.
Yeah.
Right? It's just the code. Yeah. So what's to say a hacker can change that code?
Yeah, and the chick outbeat the human.
Once you pull out that line of code that restricts them, then that's what I think Elon Musk, but that's more like
moral code.
Okay guys, so now we're gonna play this little game where I ask you guys specific occupations, and then you guys answer if you think it should be replaced by robots in the future, or if you think that no, absolutely not, humans should still do this, and then just give me like a quick, and no, it's not all gonna be Jennifer Lawrence, but then football players as Jennifer Lawrence. Anyways, then you guys give me.
There's a lingerie league.
Yeah,
there is actually. That's what I'll.
But that's a different topic. Okay.
Yeah, it's sports though.
And then you guys just give me like 1 or 2 lines about why. Okay, like a statement.
Okay.
All right. So let's start off with some easy ones. Do you guys think taxi drivers in the future should be replaced or not?
Robots.
Okay, why?
Because less accidents.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like small talk with taxi drivers.
Good. I think so too. Okay, how about your hairstylist? Think about this one. Your hairstylist. Yeah, okay, why?
I think a robot, if it malfunctions, could probably rip my scalp out. So I'd rather have a human being who has, can't hurt me.
Okay, but then a human can also cut you with scissors.
Yeah, but they won't whatever the robot's doing.
Have you seen Edward Scissorhands?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you see what he did to the kid? Made him bleed and everything.
With the robot, I assume there would be precision with it. Every time I go to a hairdresser, it's always wrong. They get the centimeters wrong. I never get what I want. So with a robot, I'll tell it what I want, show it a picture, and I'll look exactly like that.
I'm kind of with Felicia on that one. I don't want my hair to look different every time. What about lawyers? Why? That's interesting.
He's like, if I really, like, let's say I'm guilty and I know I'm guilty, I can't really convince a robot to, like, you know, help me out. But I think humans are more malleable. That's just my...
Okay.
Yeah.
What about you?
Well, although humans do make errors, which is why some people are in prison for life for something they didn't do.
That's right.
That's
you
true.
also need that emotional reasoning for giving people, like, it's someone's life. It shouldn't just be black and white, and it's not black and white.
Right. Okay, how about teachers?
Ooh, yeah.
Why?
You need to reach kids on an emotional level, I think, to really affect them. Like, you need to be a role model, not just a robot spewing out information.
Yeah. That's like, would you replace your parent with a robot? No. A teacher is kind of the same guiding role in a child's life. So.
Come give me a hug.
No, Tommy,
Denied.
you're wrong. What about sports stars?
Oh, that is tough.
People, okay. You still want to see people? So you're people too. So you still want, you guys both want to see the human element involved.
Well, what would be the skill?
Well, because I play devil's advocate, right? Like, for example, in the most popular sport in America is football, and a lot of people argue that football is too violent because bones break. And as people sort of like, they want the next newest thing, then I could argue that maybe they want to see robots actually destroy and shoot up each other. I'm just saying.
Can I say both? Because I agree
No,
with
you
that.
gotta pick one, dude.
Because you remember like those
No, you
robot
gotta
wars?
pick
You
one.
remember those
Yeah.
robot wars?
So do you want to see
Nah,
robot
humans,
wars?
humans,
Oh,
humans.
come on, man, switch.
Humans.
That makes no
Humans.
sense to me.
I think it's more of a guy thing, maybe.
But like,
A little
sports
bit.
is based on skills.
Yeah, but not like blood sports where you have robots fighting each other. All right,
Then
whatever,
just
whatever.
watch like Monster Truck, man.
Okay, what about surgeons? Okay, why?
Because you want to minimize all error.
Okay.
And if they are able to do that and do it in a very succinct manner, then yeah, nothing would ever go wrong.
Surgeons work crazy hours. They make mistakes because of those crazy hours. Robots do not make mistakes. But if they do mistakes, they will kill you.
Can I give you a devil's advocate here?
Sure.
So, surgeons, yes, like I would say robot because they're very precise. But if you keep in mind that there's so many unexpected things with medicine, so assuming that no robot can just predict exactly what's going to happen, I feel like humans possess some sort of instinctual ability, like when an artery ruptures by accident, or you didn't know there was a tumor here, then I feel like that's where the surgeon's quick response can actually save
But
a
I
life.
think if they were to put robots in that position, they would have already gotten to a stage where they'd be able to have a contingency for something like that happening.
I would say, yeah, in that case, I guess I'm just like, they can't predict exactly what will happen to you. Like, they can't predict, maybe 99.9%.
I think there's an ethics thing involved. In the future, maybe hospitals are crowded and robot surgeon says, oh, you're not gonna make it. I'm gonna give up on you. But maybe human doctors can be like, you
That's
know,
another thing
yo,
too.
you're my friend. I'm gonna try to save you even though I know you're probably not gonna make it.
So are you guys sticking with your answer or keeping it?
I still think so.
Robot.
Yeah.
You think in the long run, like...
But it would be one smart ass robot.
Yeah,
like,
that's
it's
pretty
not
super
just
smart.
some archaic, like, you know? Yeah.
In the same vein, then what about your airplane pilots?
I think, yeah.
If cars can drive themselves, planes should be able to
You
fly
would think so, right? You would think so.
Plus, like, pilots have it real bad.
They do.
They have
They're
it bad.
always
They're, like,
overworked. Yep.
overworked.
And the thing is, a lot of pilots actually aren't that great. They don't have experience actually flying with
Well,
the
what
controls.
about the one that, like,
Yeah, there's like
Saves
Sully.
Sully. But that's like one out of a billion.
The majority, think about it, the majority of their flights are this. Take off, autopilot, land. They're not doing anything during the middle part, so like they're out of practice. So if there's an emergency, yeah, I guess robot pilot can do better.
What about the next one? Your president.
Yeah.
Okay. I ask that because sometimes I feel like a lot of politicians are puppets anyways, and usually they're there just to kind of like for public support or morality or leadership, but in actuality, like, they don't do anything.
Yeah, but it's still the face of humanity, you know? If your president is a robot, that wouldn't be humanity.
But with
not human
personality.
Yeah. The one thing I'm afraid of robots is like, okay, an advanced AI is going to be highly intelligent, but does it have emotional intelligence? And that's...
Well, they would.
Like, they are lifelike like Westworld. It's just that they are controlled by code.
They would have to be benign.
That's what I'm saying. If they're benign, but they have the ability to calculate, to run through scenarios, algorithms, but they pretty much act like humans.
Still human.
Yeah, human.
You want a human to stand up for.
My technophobia would not want a robot
but
president.
The world in
terrify me.
Technicolor.
What about astronauts and space explorers?
Oh, yeah.
Do you think robots? Why?
Radiation, Humans are gonna be dying. Like, if you go to Mars, you will die because of radiation.
Sure.
So
devil's advocate is because space exploration, I feel like when humans achieve that, there's sort of this underlying like, wow, we did that. We went to Mars. But then if you put robots there, you're just like, well, of course, it's a robot.
Well, people say the moon landing was purely for propaganda, right? And if you just put a robot on the moon, it wouldn't have been as exciting as robot.
So basically, it won't do as much for humanity's sort of triumph, though.
But you know, when you send humans, you gotta send food, and they gotta poop somewhere.
Of course.
It's like all this other stuff. I think like the human idea is to inspire us. And it's a morale boost, and I think that's great, but is it necessary? Like, I do think space exploration is important. Okay. So I think the best way to do it is efficiently.
And finally, what about soldiers?
Yeah.
Humans.
Yeah. Humans.
Because the robot's obviously one, right? Like, you don't want people to lose their lives.
Actually, I'm kind of torn.
Why don't you like say what you think for this and what you think for that? Because this is our last one anyway, so.
If you have these guys, you'll be like, oh yeah, this guy pissed me off, let's go to war. And civilians will die. So this prevents war. This makes war easier to wage.
You think this prevents war?
Yeah, Jennifer. No one wants to send Jennifer Lawrence into Iraq or Syria.
She'd
They'd
be
be like, we
kick
love
some
her.
butt, though.
If we're fighting aliens, I'd send robots.
Oh yeah,
It's
sure.
more than that.
Because robots could be like, if you just give them a mission, they'll follow it. But with humans, there's always that.
You know
ethical
what
thing.
they should replace with robots?
Yeah.
The freaking post office. And deliveries and stuff.
They really should do.
That was the last. That was the last question I have for you guys. Basically, the one definitive thing that you can say, absolutely, I do not want humans doing this. I want. So you're saying post office and deliveries.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Alan.
Janitors.
Janitors.
That's the meaning.
Aww.
If we're allowed to stop doing these mundane jobs, these service jobs, these
Stuff that
industrial
robots
jobs,
can do essentially.
then what becomes of us? Like, will we have a better life because of that? Will we have time to better ourselves?
Do you think ultimately, like, living with a lot of robots that can take over the mundane things we do is positive, or no?
I think generally it's positive, but when you put too much, if you give too much power to them, and if there's some sort of like organization that kind of
creates them
and controls everything about them, then that's when it gets dangerous.
Yep.
Yeah.
I would love to live in a robot, live in a world.
I would love to live in a robot. Wally.
I actually don't. I wouldn't want anything to be replaced by robots because I think that every occupation in this world, whether it's a janitor, whether it's a sales clerk, doesn't matter what you do. You could be a butcher. You could do mundane things, but the amount of humanity you bring to people in your community is irreplaceable. But it's just today, human moral values have gone so low that all these mundane jobs become obsolete.
Dan, you're gonna become John Connor in the future.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. But anyways, guys, we hope you liked that discussion about robots replacing humanity or what humanity can do. Let us know what jobs you think absolutely should be done by robots in the future and what jobs should absolutely not be done robots in the future. And yeah, anything else, guys?
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Thank you.